We are lucky 13 practices into the preseason. Now it's time to look forward to a game. Scotty, Gange, Mike, Klis here. Mike, let's go big picture. Training camp, 13 days in. What's the biggest takeaway you have for this team?
Payton rules. You know, it's all about Sean Payton. He's got all kinds of restrictions and limitations as far as media goes. As far as the team, you know, I saw steady progress all along, especially on offense. Russell Wilson did not look good in week 1 of training camp. He looked very good in week 2, and that's very good going into the preseason.
It's encouraging to see a guy like him stacking days together. I know Courtland Sutton was awesome today. Sean Payton had a lot of great things to say about him. And Mike, Courtland, when he was up at the podium, mentioned how great he's feeling in this camp specifically.
Yeah, he changed his body a little bit. He leaned out, put a lot of bulk up, some muscle, and then leaned back again, and it's made him a little faster. He thinks quicker. You know, it's been a battle coming back from that knee injury, the ACL in 2020, and he's gradually come back. He did have a heck of a day today. Caught a long one from Russ, which is a good sign, against Pat Surtain, no less. Well, it's one thing to catch a pass against, you know, Damari Mathis, McMillan,
anybody else in the NFL.
Or anybody else, but Surtain, that's doing something.
You mentioned the battle of coming back, and you know what? There's a lot of battles on this team right now. The first official depth chart was released. Biggest shock factor for you that you saw on it today?
Yeah, not a shock because of the way it's played out in practice, but it's notable that Adam Troutman is the #1 tight end and Greg Dulcich is #2. And I tell you, Sean Payton loves Adam Troutman. He came from the Saints. He traded almost entire second and third day of the draft to go get Troutman. Kareem, Caden Stearns listed as a tie for that safety spot opposite.
Is that weird, a tie?
Well, I think what Kareem, in this case it makes sense. Kareem was the starter the previous 4 years. Caden Stearns has been the starter so far in training camp. And I think there's a little, they were being differential to the veteran, the 35-year-old veteran who's been a 4-year starter, to put them both neck and neck. Caden Stearns has still got to earn it if he's going to be the starter.
For this team moving forward, biggest thing they've got to improve on, you know, that you think right now?
The running game, I think, still has to come together so they can play action for Russ. Get Russ out of the pocket where he's more effective.
The running game will be fun to see, especially in the preseason, especially with McLaughlin, who is the NCAA all-time leading rusher. Why do you think everyone's talking so high about this undrafted kid?
Because he's the speed guy. You know, I mean, he doesn't just move through the hole. He's through the hole. You know, he's a jet. And so I think they need a little speed. I thought that's one big deficiency they had against the Chiefs. The Chiefs had a lot more speed, I always thought, team-wide than the Broncos the last 6-7 years. And McLaughlin, I think, is one guy that would complement Javonte, who's a power back, and Pirine, who's a power back. They need some speed in that backfield.
Mike, when I think of the greatest Mikes in history, I think of Mike Klis and then Michael Jordan. There's an old song where it's like Mike, we want to be like Mike. I want to know who Mike likes. We want to know who Mike likes. Is there a guy that's just surprised you more than anybody else out on the field so far in training camp?
Well, I would say the edge rushers, because they haven't had much of Randy Gregory and Frank Clark in practice, I've really liked Nick Benito and Jonathan Cooper. They're stepping up. Jonathan Cooper, just a solid guy, 7th-round pick from Ohio State, had a real good rookie year, was hurt quite a bit his sophomore year, second year, and it looks like he's ready to step up too.
He'll look good in that number 0 also. Mike, you're a newspaper guy. Looking forward to the game on Friday. Is there a title that you want to put across the screen that everybody should be thinking about for Cardinals versus Broncos Friday night? Let's
see how Russ does. That would be the headline, you know, how Russ does with Sean Payton as his new head coach. It's looked, I'm telling you, it's looked a lot better here the last 4 or 5 days. You know, we were all stymied by what happened to Russell Wilson last year. The Broncos, the front office, you know, they were disappointed. They gave up the farm, literally. All those first-round picks, second-round picks.
The farm and the barn and everything else.
For Russell Wilson, and it did not work out. He went from a top 10 quarterback to number 27. He's got to get back to at least a top 15 quarterback this year. I think Sean Payton, with the way he runs an offense, I think Russell Wilson will get back to a top 15 quarterback in the league. And if he does, I think the Broncos will be a winning team.
Hope is here, and it's all about the coach and the quarterback. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock Friday night with kickoff at 8 right here on 9 News.